Chapter 10, Distraction. Hey Chris. A girlish voice says behind him. He turns on his heel to find Piper beaming at him. Just what he needs, a distraction. Oh, Piper. He gives the best smile he could muster, really happy to see her. I thought you said someone was waiting for you. She asks. Yeah. Well, I went to meet him, but he's sorta busy with his girlfriend, Chris replies. Oh. Did you come with your girlfriend? She asks him curiously. She knows his story. She knows he is a player, but she just decided to ask that. Nope, he answers, trying his best not to cringe. So, you live around here? He asks to change the subject. Yeah, I do. You? Nah, he answers. Piper wants to ask where he lives, but doesn't want to spoil her chance with him or sound too nosy. They talk about their schools for a while, laughing. Then Chris asks, "Wanna hear some pickup lines?" Piper grins, sure. Are you Google, 'cause you have everything I've been looking for? He starts. Piper smiles, good one. Did it hurt? Chris asks. Did what hurt? Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Piper bursts out laughing. Wait. Your boobs look great in this dress, he says. Piper smiles, but then remembers that it's supposed to be a pickup line. She has heard it before. Girls hate that one. Don't try it on anyone at all, she tells him. I don't know why you guys hate it. We're just complimenting you, he argues. You think? Piper raises her eyebrows. Chris shrugs as he thinks. Are you a camera because every time I look at you I smile? Piper's smile widens, very happy to be having this conversation with Christopher Hayes. He's even saying pickup lines to her. Guess she'd have him this night. Hopefully, she wouldn't let him slip away tonight. She must have him. She can barely focus on what is saying due to her zoning out. He's radiating sex appeal and it's hard to ignore. She zones back in when his voice raises a little as he says, "Check this one out. Are you the parking ticket, 'cause you've got fine written all over you?" Piper immediately starts laughing. That was a really good one. Chris laughs also. I know, right? They both find themselves staring at each other after laughing. Piper glances at his lips. Before Chris can do anything, Piper crushes his lips with hers. It takes a moment for Chris to kiss her back. Usually he enjoys this, he does it all the time, but right now, he isn't feeling anything. Right now, he isn't in the mood, not feeling the vibe. She tastes of beer. Probably some she had before. The kiss intensifies as Piper increases her pace, her hands finding his neck to pull him closer. She's standing on her toes because he's taller. Chris' mind wanders during the kiss. He can't help but remember the last kiss he had at Jason's party. That breathtaking kiss. Surprisingly, he didn't kiss anyone during the week. He was so bent on finding Hazel to think about any of that. Now he's kissing Piper, but he doesn't feel what he felt when he kissed Hazel. No sparks. No tingles. No shocks. The kiss is just normal. Like the times he kissed other girls. Why the hell is he comparing kisses now? He asks himself as he began to kiss her aggressively. He has never cared as long as he gets what he wants. He has spent the whole week searching for Hazel, and she might be a figment of his imagination for all he knows. Maybe he got drunk that night and imagined it all. Maybe he imagined the kiss, that really good kiss. Maybe he imagined talking to Brooke and everything else. There has to be some sort of explanation, if not that. How could he have possibly not seen her in school throughout the week? Enough of that bullshit. Enough of trying to find Hazel. He's officially tired of this bullshit. To hell with that kiss, he concludes in his head and grips Piper by the hips. She couldn't help but smile against his lips. Thank goodness. Seems she's lucky tonight. Chris pulls away to catch his breath, and after a few seconds, they begin to make out. Piper desperately tugs at his t-shirt with her hands while they kiss, but Chris stops her, not breaking the kiss. A few minutes later, they find themselves in a room still frantically making out. Piper reaches the bed and falls backward with Chris hovering over her. She's really desperate for this and really happy it's finally happening. She tugs at his t-shirt again just as his phone vibrates in the pocket of his slacks. He ignores it and continues, but then it vibrates again. He decides to check who is calling. It might be his mom, and it could be something important. He pulls away from Piper, who protests and pulls him back, but he doesn't budge. She groans loudly, showing displeasure. He sits down on edge of the bed beside a frustrated Piper and fishes his phone. He discovers it's Jason and answers the phone. "Hey, dude," he says. "Where are you?" Jason asks without preamble. "Somewhere," Chris answers vaguely, slightly confused. "What is it? Did you leave yet?" "No. I'm here," Chris answers. "Come to the kitchen. Get your ass here right now," Jason tells him and ends the call before Chris can question him. Is it something important? He has no idea but decides to go find out. Brothers before hoes. But he's about to get laid, and he hasn't gotten laid in a week. He gets up hurriedly and heads towards the door. "Where are you going?" Piper almost yells. "I'd be back. Jason needs my help," he replies and walks out in search of Jason. Piper sits up to wait. She feels like screaming out loud in frustration. He said he'd be back, didn't he? It's Christopher Hayes, isn't it? He would be back, he can't miss an opportunity of getting laid. But why did they have to be interrupted? Piper asks mentally. She'd have to wait. He'd be back. She'd finally have a taste of Christopher Hayes. Yeah, she will. Chris hurries to the kitchen in search of Jason. He finds him in the kitchen with people at different corners of the kitchen. It seems like a game of beer pong is about to be played. He approaches Jason. "Hey man." "Aha!" Jason exclaims. "He is here. You're on my team, bro. Let the game begin," he announces. Christopher rolls his eyes but joins as the game starts. He's good at beer pong, but is that the dumb reason Jason stopped him from getting laid? Seriously? They play the game and Christopher gets into it, no longer frustrated that Jason had interrupted his session. Come to think of it, he wasn't really into it. He doesn't want to hook up with Piper, so it's a good thing that Jason called. They won the game, obviously, and Chris forgot all about Piper. He has forgotten that he is supposed to meet her. Christopher hangs around after the game talking to people and does every other thing except drinking alcohol. He gets bored and decides to go home. "Hey, Jason. I'm heading home." "With a girl?" Jason raises his eyebrows suggestively. "No, dude. Not in the mood," Chris replies and walks away. Later, Christopher. Chris turns around and glares at Jason, who begins to laugh. Chris hates to be called his full name, but Jason does it sometimes to annoy him. He walks into the cold night and then drives himself home. After parking his car in the garage, he enters the house, carefully trying his possible best not to make noise. He'd hate for his mom, or even worse, Emily, to wake up at 2 a.m. He heads up to his room and sighs as he sits on his bed. Only then does he remember Piper. Oh shit, he swears. Though he doesn't want to hook up with her, he feels bad that she would be waiting for him or had been waiting for him. He picks up his phone to call her and apologize or something, but bummer, he realizes he doesn't have her number. He dials Jason instead. "Christopher," Jason says. "Don't," Chris says icily. "What do you need?" Jason asks. "I need your help with something, or rather someone." "Okay. What is it?" "Help me check one of the rooms upstairs. A girl is supposed to be waiting for me, and I totally forgot about her. Her name's Piper. She's blonde and in a red dress. He tells Jason. Okay? Tell her I'm sorry that something urgent came up and I had to leave. Chris tells him. He feels bad for lying to her, but would it make her feel better if he said he forgot about her? No, it wouldn't. Okay. Sure. I will check on her right away. Thanks. Chris appreciates him and ends the call. He doesn't usually care when things like this happen, but he feels bad for Piper. He kinda likes her as a friend, but he's pretty sure she doesn't feel the same. He saw how eager she was to hook up with him. Chris sighs heavily and takes off his shirt and slacks. He lays down and falls asleep in just his boxers. Immediately after Chris ends the call, Jason heads upstairs in search of the aforementioned blonde. He finds her in one of the rooms upstairs, just as he was told, precisely the third one. He finds her in her red dress and blonde hair, sleeping peacefully. He looks at her and shakes his head disapprovingly. Why are some girls so stupid? Throwing themselves at guys when some other guys would willingly chase after them. Just look at a girl as pretty as Piper waiting here for Chris till she eventually fell asleep. Girls know how Chris is. They know how big of a player he is, but they keep throwing themselves at him, not caring about the consequences. A lot of people know that Jason has a girlfriend, but girls keep throwing themselves at him also, wanting to hook up with him. Piper should be grateful Chris remembered her, Jason thinks. It is a miracle that he remembered and even felt bad for keeping her waiting, totally forgetting about her. Well, come to think of it, it's kinda Jason's fault, isn't it? He was the one who interrupted them and asked Chris to meet him. Jason inhales and walks closer to the bed. He shakes Piper's shoulder gently to wake her up. She opens her eyes after a few seconds of shaking. All trace of sleep vanishes when she sights Jason and not Chris. She sits up abruptly and hugs herself. Who the fuck are you? She asks. Jason sighs. She doesn't know him? He's kind of a big deal around here, so it's surprising she doesn't know who he is. Chill. Okay? I won't hurt you. I'm Jason. Chris's friend. He asked me to come get you, Jason explains. Where's Chris? Piper asks, remembering she's yet to hook up with him. Something came up, he had to leave. He tells her. Piper feels bad but decides that whatever came up must have been important because Christopher Hayes doesn't miss a chance to get laid. Looking on the bright side, he remembered to send someone to get her. No matter how important whatever came up was, he remembered her. Maybe he's actually a good guy, she muses. Who knew what would have happened had a creep or pervert seen her sleeping in this room of this house she has never been to before? Jason is thinking exactly the same thing. Thanks, she says as she gets off the bed. She walks out of the room to the living room and sees almost everyone gone. She realizes she has no ride home and it's 2:25 a.m. Need a ride? Jason asks as if reading her mind. He doesn't know what compelled him to ask that. He doesn't even know her. She contemplates before agreeing. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Chapter 11, It's Her. It's Saturday morning and Christopher Hayes wakes up late due to last night's party. He awakes and he's very happy he didn't drink last night. If he did, he'd have a killer headache, a freaking hangover. As he looks around his room, he remembers the party and then Piper. He picks up his phone from the nightstand and dials Jason. It rings and then goes to voicemail. Chris calls him again and this time he picks up. Jason? Chris says after he doesn't speak for some seconds. What the fuck, man? There better be a good reason why the hell you woke me up, Jason grumbles. Well, good morning to you too, dude, Chris replies sardonically. What do you want? Did you see Piper yesterday? I think so, Jason answers. What do you mean? You think so? Are you fucking kidding me? Did you even check on her as I asked you to? Chris's voice begins to raise. Chill, dude. I checked on her and even gave her a ride home. Now would you please leave me to battle with my hangover? Jason says grumpily. Chris can't help but laugh. Sure, dude. Battle your hangover. Thanks, by the way. Jason just groans and ends the call. Chris smiles and then heads out of his room to the kitchen downstairs. He finds his mom making coffee with Emily on a stool. Good morning, Mom. He walks over to her and kisses her cheek. Morning, hun. No hangover today. Hallelujah. His mom smiles, waving her hands in the air dramatically. Mom! Chris exclaims, grinning. What? Weren't you out partying last night? She asks in monotone. I was. You caught me, okay. He raises his hands in the universal sign of surrender. But I didn't drink. It's not every time I drink, Mom, he adds. Hey, Em, he walks over to the counter and hugs her, patting her hair. Hi, Chris. How was your night? It was nice, she giggles. Chris? Yes. What's a hangover? She asks after they disengage from the hug. Chris scratches the back of his neck. It's a type of headache? Chris' mom says, more as a question than a statement. Oh, okay, Emily replies. His mom hands him a mug of coffee and gives Emily a cup of orange juice. You know you have to take Emily to the park for the play date? His mom asks. Yeah, I do and I will, he replies as he sips his coffee. Yay! Emily yells excitedly. Chris finishes his coffee before heading to the bathroom for his morning routine. After getting ready for the day, he heads down for breakfast. What's for breakfast? He asks as he enters the kitchen. Cereal? His mother answers in amusement. You're kidding. You know I hate having cereal on Saturday mornings. Chris says dryly. His mom laughs. You can always make yourself something else to eat if you don't want cereal. But you know I hate cooking, Chris whines. Now you're acting like a baby. Dramatic much? His mom smirks. Chris, stop acting like a baby, Emily tells him, smiling. Listen to her. His mom exclaims. Chris groans and sits at the kitchen table. Want some pancakes? His mom asks. Chris begins to grin. Fuck yes. Language, Christopher. His mom chides with a frown. Sorry, he apologizes and looks at Emily to see if she caught on to the bad word, but she wasn't even paying attention. They have breakfast together and Chris clears the table and washes the dishes after. They settled down in the living room to watch TV, and after about 30 minutes, Emily speaks up. Can you take me to the park now? Emily asks Chris, looking at him with puppy dog eyes. Chris smiles and grabs both her cheeks with his fingers. How can I say no to those eyes? Sure. Let's go to the park right away. Emily giggles, yeah. She happily runs up to her room to get something. Chris gets his phone and they exchange byes with their mom before heading out. Chris unlocks the doors to the car and opens the passenger side for Emily. She hops in smiling, thank you. The shuts the down and walks around the car into the driver's seat. He ignites the car and backs out of the driveway. Normally, if Chris wants to go to the park alone, which barely happens, he would walk there. It's like 15 minutes from their house. But he's going with Emily and it'd be better if they take the car. He goes to the park mostly to take Emily on play dates. So, Em? He begins. Yeah? Emily looks at him. Tell me about your school. Your classmates, you know. Your friends? Chris asks her, trying to make small talk. Well, Emily trails off. School's normal. Okay, but there are some days I don't want to go, she confesses with a frown. A chuckle escapes Chris's lips when she said that. I've been there, kiddo, and I still feel the same. A lot of people actually hate school, Chris states. Yeah, I know. Nora makes school more bearable for me. She's my BFF and we do almost everything together, Emily smiles. I know that. Don't you have any other friends? He asks. He doesn't want his sister to be one of those socially awkward people when she grows up. Or even worse, antisocial. I have 3 other friends in my class, and there's this annoying boy that's always disturbing me, Emily says with displeasure. A boy, eh? Chris frowns. Yes. He likes to piss me off. He'd be pulling out my hair in class and poking me. He sits behind me, she explains. Don't worry about him. Boys are idiots. Emily giggles, including you? Chris huffs as he parks the car, of course not. I'm adorable. Emily just smiles as they exit the car. Chris offers his hand to Emily and she takes it. They begin to walk holding each other. Chris scans the park as they walk. Few people are around. Kids, teenagers, adults, and of course dogs. It's a Saturday after all. Where to? Chris asks, looking down at Emily. Our favorite spot. Okay then. They reach the so-called favorite spot and look around to see a few kids playing around, but no sign of Emily's play date. Nora isn't here yet, Emily says. Yeah. Let's wait for her at that bench over there. He pulls her along as they walk up to the bench and sit down. They watch the scenery for a while before focusing on 3 people. It is a kid with his parents. He's on his dad's shoulders giggling as they run from his mom. Chris removes his gaze from them and looks at Emily. She's watching them also with a distant look and a small smile, a sad smile on her face. Yeah? She answers absent-mindedly without tearing her gaze from them. Do you wish Dad was here? He forces the sentence out of his mouth. Emily turns to look at her brother. She knows he hates their dad, so it's surprising he asked that question. She shrugs, I don't know. I didn't get to know him so. Chris looks away and sighs. But it really would be nice to have a dad around, Emily says, finally looking back at them. Chris says nothing. He brings out his phone and begins to scroll through his Instagram feed. Emily tears her gaze away from the family and sights a boy kicking a soccer ball around. As if sensing something, he looks her way and she recognizes him from her school. It's the boy that likes to disturb her in her class. He smiles as they meet each other's gaze. He decides to come over but sights Chris beside Emily and immediately retraces his steps as his smile turns into a frown. Emily giggles. What's funny? Chris asks, momentarily looking at Emily. Nothing, she answers while smiling. She watches him pick up his ball and walk away, probably to go play on another side of the park from fear of Chris, who is sitting beside her. Then she spots a girl with a cute dog walking together. The girl is holding onto the dog's leash. She looks older, like maybe Chris's age. Emily can't resist standing up and walking over to the girl and her dog. Chris doesn't notice her leave, being entranced by his phone. I like your dog. It's cute, Emily smiles as she reaches them. The girl stops walking and looks down at Emily. Thank you. But she isn't mine, she smiles back. Oh. I'm just helping to walk her, she tells Emily, crouching beside the dog. Wanna touch her? Emily trails off. She won't bite, the girl chuckles. Emily moves closer and reluctantly touches the dog's fur. You see? Emily grins. Christopher then notices that his little sister isn't beside him anymore. What the fuck? He exclaims as he pockets his phone. He scans the area and thankfully sights her with a girl and a dog. Chris smiles. Emily really loves dogs. He'd get her one of these days. Don't run off like that next time, he says as he reaches them. Cute dog, he tells the girl, crouching down beside the dog. She looks up to face him and their eyes meet. Her eyes widen as she stares at him. Even though her hair's shorter, he could recognize her anywhere. Her eyes. He can never forget her eyes. When he's starting to forget about her, she finally shows up. Chris could swear that time freezes. It's her. Hazel, he says softly. Chapter 12, Cute Dog. After having breakfast and doing some cleaning around the house, Stephanie is happy she's finally leaving the house. She steps out and locks the door behind her. She struts over to her neighbor's door and knocks. About a minute later, a woman opens the door. "Why, hello, Stephanie." She smiles. "Hi, Mrs. Grace. I'm here for Daisy." "Oh, come on in." Mrs. Grace ushers her in. "How are you, dear?" she asks. "I'm okay," Stephanie answers. "Are your parents back?" Steph sighs. "No. They'd be back tomorrow, hopefully." "That's great. Let me go get Daisy." Mrs. Grace is in her late 40s. She's divorced and has a son who is in college right now. His name is Harry and he's friends with Stephanie's brother, Brody. Harry had gotten his mom a dog to keep her company when he's in school. Mrs. Grace named her Daisy. Mrs. Grace walks into the room with Daisy, who has a collar around her neck while holding a leash. Daisy sights Stephanie and runs up to her. "Hey, girl." Stephanie kneels in front of the dog and rubs her fur. The dog wags its tail happily and she grins. She really likes Daisy and sometimes she wishes she was hers. "Wanna go for a walk?" she asks Daisy, who barks in response. "Here," Mrs. Grace says, handing her the leash. Stephanie attaches it to Daisy's collar and stands up. "Okay. Off we go. See you later, Mrs. Grace," Stephanie says, leading the dog out. "Bye, Daisy." Mrs. Grace waves before shutting the door. "Let's go to the park, Daisy," she tells the dog as they walk in the direction of the park. After a few minutes of walking, her phone begins to vibrate continuously in her jean pocket. It's either Brooke, her dad, or her mom, or Brody, but it can't be him. No one else calls her except her aunt, who calls once in a while. She knows it's Brooke calling as she brings it out and answers it. "Hey, B." She smiles. "Steph. What's up?" Brooke asks. You can hear the smile in her voice. "I'm walking my neighbor's dog Daisy to the park." "You?" "We're going to my dad's surprise. He still doesn't want to tell us," Brooke says. "You'll find out soon." "You're supposed to be here, Steph." Brooke deadpans. "I know. I have my reasons." Stephanie rolls her eyes. "Okay then. We'll talk later. Tell me if you see any cute boys, okay? And try talking to them." Stephanie can imagine Brooke smirking. "Sure, B. Bye," Brooke says and hangs up before she replies. After some more minutes, they reach the park. She looks around as she walks with the dog beside her. "I like your dog. It's cute." Stephanie hears a sweet little voice near her. She looks and sees a little girl, probably 9 years old, staring at the dog. Though Stephanie doesn't like talking to strangers, she likes kids, and this girl in front of her is really cute. So she smiles. "Thank you, but it isn't mine." "Oh. I'm just helping to walk her," Stephanie explains, crouching down next to the dog. "Wanna touch her?" she asks the little girl in front of her. She looks unsure. "She won't bite," Stephanie chuckles, assuring her. The cute blonde girl nears the dog and touches its fur. "You see?" They both smile as they stroke Daisy's fur. They don't even notice the person approaching. "Don't run off like that next time, Em," Stephanie hears a deep masculine voice say. "Oh my goodness. It's a guy." A stranger. Probably the cute little girl's older brother. Stephanie hates meeting new people. It freaks her out, and now she's freaking out. And Brooke isn't even here. This would be so awkward, she groans mentally. "Cute dog," she hears him say again. Now she'll have to reply. Geez. Maybe this was a bad idea. She forces herself to look up after a mental battle, and then she freezes. Her eyes widen. Right in front of her is Christopher Hayes, aka first class player, aka the person she had the best kiss of her life so far with. He also freezes as if not believing his eyes. All the memories from that night hit Stephanie in full force. Oh God! Help! They stare at each other for a moment before Stephanie hears Chris say, Hazel. Stephanie begins to wonder if he remembers that night, then something registers. Did he just say, Hazel? Wait. Hazel. She looks around to see if anyone is near them. No one. Oh, maybe Hazel is the cute little girl's name. Hi. Stephanie rises to her feet. Let's not make this more awkward than it already is, she decides. He wouldn't remember that night, so it'll be like they're meeting for the first time. Chris, who looks shocked, shakes his head and then continues to stare at her. Hey. She avoids his eyes. He forces himself to look down at the dog and repeats, cute dog. Thanks, Stephanie says. I like the dog, Emily says, still touching it. What's her name? Stephanie looks at her. It's Daisy. I love it. I wish I have a dog like this, the cute girl replies. Me too. Stephanie agrees, momentarily forgetting about Chris. Christopher notices and clears his throat to gain both of their attention. Chris. The girl calls the name that Stephanie has heard numerous times. Yeah. I want a dog. You'll get one eventually, Chris replies her, smiling. You look familiar. I feel like I've seen you before, Stephanie hears Chris say. She panics, please don't remember me. She avoids his gorgeous green eyes and shrugs, seeming nonchalant. I'm Chris. This is my little sister, Emily, he introduces. She knows who the infamous Christopher Hayes is. No need for introductions, but did he just call his sister Emily? She asks herself. She assumed her name would be Hazel. Then who is he calling Hazel? She asks herself more questions. Maybe it's her nickname. She realizes that she hasn't said anything. He probably already thinks she's weird or smitten by him so hard she lost her tongue. That's what hot boys think, isn't it? I'm Stephanie. She finally speaks. Nice to meet you, Stephanie. Do we perhaps go to the same school? He asks. Of course, he wouldn't know her. Yeah, we do, she says carefully. Really? He asks, surprise evident in his tone. Yeah, we do, she reiterates. We even have a few classes together. I've never noticed you, he confesses. She shrugs. That isn't surprising. Why would he possibly notice her? Stephanie, can I play with Daisy? Emily asks. She smiles down at her and offers her the leash. Here. Emily grins. Thank you. She takes the leash and begins to walk forward, pulling Daisy along. Stephanie and Christopher fall in stride behind her. So, what about Brooke? Chris asks, trying to make small talk. B? My friend. Yeah. Why isn't she with you? It takes a moment for her to answer. She's having a thing with her parents today. I'm sorry, but do you know her? Stephanie can't help but ask. The question comes out colder than she expects. We talked once at Jason's party, Chris replies. Her breath hitches. He spoke to Brooke that night, after all. Does he remember the game? Gasp. Please don't, she thinks. She really doesn't want to do this right now. Someone, please save her. Just then, someone yells, Emily. They stop walking and turn around to see a girl around Emily's age run over to them. Thank goodness, Stephanie exhales. Yeah. It's Hazel. Well, her real name is Stephanie, unfortunately. He was hoping it would be Hazel. He likes it though. When he has decided not to bother to find her again, she has shown up. There's a difference though. Her hair is shorter. She cut it and it looks hot on her. Wait, how has he never noticed her? He only said she looks familiar to make her less tense and see if she'd mention where they met. He knows exactly who she is, but he doesn't want to be the one to say it first and scare her. She looks like she would pass out if he mentions kissing her at the party. It seems like she doesn't want him to remember. Chris feels like bowing down at Emily's feet to thank her for running off, which led him to find Hazel, no, Stephanie. He'd have to learn how to stick to calling her by her real name. Or he could keep calling her Hazel, right? She wouldn't mind, would she? Looking at her right now, he sees that she's uneasy and looks like she doesn't want to have a conversation with him. And that's surprising. Who doesn't want to have a conversation with him? Her. Obviously. And the fact that she doesn't want him to mention the kiss, that's a shock. Girls always try to make him remember any form of interaction he had with them. They'd flirt with him to get that moment again, or even better, progress and get in a more intense situation. Hazel looks far from flirting with him, let alone hooking up with him. Shocker. And again, they've sat in the same class almost every day throughout the week as he searched for her, and he didn't see her? Her shorter hair might have caused some confusion. So, what about Brooke? Chris asks her, wanting to talk about anything. B? My friend? He doesn't miss her little stuttering. Yeah. Isn't she with you? He asks, not caring about the answer. She has a thing with her parents today. I'm sorry, but do you know her? Hazel answers a little harshly after a moment. We talked once at Jason's party, he answers, having the serious urge to smile but deciding against it. It probably wouldn't be best. She even seems panicked with his answer. He watches her quietly, waiting for her to say something. Emily! Someone yells excitedly. He recognizes the voice almost immediately to be Nora's. They stop walking and he watches Emily hand the leash back to Hazel with a grin on her face. Nora! Emily yells and hugs Nora, who has found her way to them. Let's play, Nora says and drags Emily away. Chris smiles and heads over to greet Nora's mom, who is watching them with a smile on her face. Hello, Mrs. Hart. He greets her. She smiles. How many times have I told you to call me Liz, eh? He laughs lightly. They talk for a minute and Liz leaves, leaving him to watch Nora and Emily. He turns around remembering Hazel, but finds the spot she was once occupied empty.